My questions to the Premier. Premier, you are as you describe yourself, you are the education Premier. That's what you said when you were first elected. If you're the education Premier, why are you not responding to the desperate calls for help from the children of Attawapiskat who are trying to get their school replaced?
Minister of Education.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. One of the challenges, I think, for our society in Canada is the issue of the jurisdictional debate. No, listen. I'm not going to hide behind the jurisdictional debate. I just want to raise it as an issue that we need to deal with. So the reality is, Mr. Speaker, that the federal government has, as you know, and the member opposite knows quite well, has had responsibility for education on reserve for those children. What you need to know, Mr. Speaker, is that I am working with First Nations, Métis, Inuit people across this province, Mr. Speaker, to see if there are ways that we can support the education of all Aboriginal children. We are working on it. We have got already in place an Aboriginal framework for education, Mr. Speaker, in the province. We are in the process of developing tripartite conversations. Mr. Speaker, it is extremely important to me as the Minister of Education that we support the
supplementary.
Madam Minister, these kids are desperate. They've been trying to get a school rebuilt in that community for the better part of 10 years. It is an absolute desperate situation. But let me remind you of a couple of things. First of all, these kids are Ontario citizens, and they deserve the full attention of their provincial government when it comes to education. But let me tell you something else, Madam Minister. Ontario signed Treaty 9. And one of the reasons that people signed on to treaty over 100 years ago with the province was to make sure that they had education for their kids. So let me ask you, on behalf of those children, what are you prepared to do as a province to make sure that those kids get the same education as any other child in this province?
Mr. Speaker, Minister of Aboriginal Affairs.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The member knows full well that education on reserves is federal responsibility. But if he listened closely to the Minister of Education, he would have noticed that after generations and generations of governments that have just allowed it to stop there, this Minister of Education is saying we've got to do more, we're going to do more, because these young people deserve the same access to opportunity that every person in Ontario has, Mr. Speaker. So we're committed to working with the federal government, Mr. Speaker, if necessary, and we're committed also to working with First Nations if we have to go after the federal government, Mr. Speaker, to make sure that that equal opportunity can be developed here in this province. Because the member's right. There are two tiers of education right now across this country when it comes to First Nations, Inuit and Métis students and non-Aboriginal students, Mr. Speaker, and we're committed to working with all partners to resolve